The Planning Commission meeting to order for November 13th. This is a regular meeting. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes from October 23rd, 2017. Are there any additions or corrections, Commissioner Slayton?
On the third page under
Other action.
down here twice as asking questions, and I was at that meeting.
Well, that's impressive.
That is.
Good job.
Must have been phoning that one.
Phoning a friend.
All right.
Whoever was asking those questions could take credit for that one.
Justin, did you catch that? Okay.
Yep, I did.
Any other additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve minutes?
I have a motion to approve. And a second. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minutes are approved. All right, item on the agenda, public hearing, variance request 2017-46. Justin.
Thank you very much, Chair Deaver. I just want to make a correction. It's not actually a public hearing. It should be under other actions. The existing house was built in 1875 and doesn't have a garage presently. The applicant is proposing to build a 672 square foot garage at the rear of the property. The lot is very small and narrow at only 36 feet wide. The zoning code requires a 20-foot setback along a property line where it's fronting a public street, a right-of-way. This is presumably to allow for parking of vehicles in the front of garage without blocking passage of traffic or sidewalks. They exist. The lot is substantially smaller in total size and width than the minimum code requires. The minimum width is 50 feet and the existing lot is 36 feet wide. The minimum lot size is 7,000 square feet and the subject lot is only 5,000 square feet. The lot is developed with a long, narrow house and no other structures. For the variance review, the garage could be built on the property to meet the zoning setbacks as required, as shown in the red box on the screen. The applicant believes that the required setbacks would preclude him from having a backyard as other residents have. His yard in between the house and detached garage would only be 13 feet deep. He would like to build the garage 20 feet from the house to have a small backyard there. And he pointed out when other homes have a small backyard, they usually are able to build a garage within 5 feet of the alley and access the side of it, which is not possible for him due to the extreme narrow lot. There are some statutory requirements that must be met prior to approving a variance. Staff believes the case could be made for them, which include that the small lot does not provide enough property to have a garage and a usable backyard. Secondly, the narrow lot does not allow a side-loaded garage, which both make for practical difficulties in complying with the ordinance. The property was subdivided and built prior to the applicant's purchase of it. The character of the area will remain unchanged because the setback is not uncommon in the area. The house directly across the street to the north has a garage facing the alley with a garage door at a distance of 12 feet. And there are other garages along the alley that are close to 0 feet from the alley. But of course, they're side-loading garages. As far as the original Hastings design standard portion of the review, the applicant is in that OHDS district. As you can see on the map, it goes from the river down to 10th Street between Pine Street and the railroad tracks. New construction and improvements over 10% of the building value in the OHDS district require Planning Commission and City Council review. The purpose of the district is to preserve and enhance the traditional neighborhood design by reflecting general characteristics of buildings in that time period that range from 1845 to 1940. The garage would be located in the back of the home and not highly visible. The proposed garage should be of similar size and design of the main structure and other garages in the area. The average size of the immediate area garages are 700 square feet. I think I figured that before I noticed that the neighbor's small garage was demolished, so it might be slightly higher than 700 square feet. And the proposed garage, like I said earlier, is 672 square feet. The sketch drawing provided shows that the garage will look similar to surrounding garages in the home on the site, and the garage will have white vinyl siding to be similar to the homes. The garage appears to fit into the existing home's character and of the surrounding area. And here's a couple pictures looking down the alley. The arrow is pointing to the location of the proposed garage. It'll be between that rubble on the ground and that yellow garage. This is looking from the opposite direction. You can see the yellow garage would be on the other side of that. And these are some elevation drawings of the proposed garage. The east and west elevations would look the same. So with that, staff can answer any questions. I remind the commission that it's not a public hearing, but the applicant's here if you have got any questions for him.
Commissioners? You get, go ahead.
Either for you or for the owner, is this a rental property or is this a homestead property? Is this a rental property? No.
The owner said it's not a rental property, for the record.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Alpal?
Justin, you said the garage across the alley was 12 feet from the street. Do you know when that one was built by chance? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know that question. Answer. Commissioner?
I'm just curious, you know, was it a short time ago, a long time ago?
Yeah, I guess I didn't look it up. I guess the owner has an answer to that question.
I don't know the exact answer, but the current residents directly across the alleyway, they bought the house as the way it was, so they can't give a solid answer either.
So it's been a while then. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Slate?
with the old garage at, what's the address, 319, that's been torn down that we see in the picture there. Now, I'm only assuming that they'll be coming in at some point for a garage. And are we gonna have to have the same setback, kind of a matchup, or is there land for them to come in without asking for a variance here at the same time?
Well, they'll be required to meet the ordinance. If they have any justification for a variance, they can bring that forward. The only justification we found in this case is that the lot size is extraordinarily small and narrow, which would make it impossible to have a side-loaded garage. It's much easier on the corner street to do that. You can see a lot of these corners have side-loaded garages because it's even easier to do than an internal lot.
Okay. Looking down the sight line between the garage that's been taken down, the base there, and the side of your house, is that right on the line, or were both of them across the line, or how's that work?
The old garage was 2 feet on his property.
Was 2 feet onto your property? Okay. 'Cause when you're looking down, it looks like there were,
Yeah, it was slightly over on my property line, yes.
okay. Okay, thank you. And the retaining wall on the east side of your property there belongs to the other house, the yellow house there on, you're 311, up toward the side of your house, there's a retaining wall about at the property line. I assume that's property line,
Oh, yes, roughly, I believe so.
going to the east.
Yep, I think I know what you're talking about there, is that retaining wall there?
Yeah.
There's a brick wall that is on their property.
That's on theirs. Okay. It's a very difficult lot. We've seen some of these in other areas of down there also. You're not the only one that's had this problem with the garage that they want to put in. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Barse?
you know, when I look at this, it's clear that there's prohibitive restrictions here given the site and size. I think my only concern with the 13 feet, just looking at the aerial here, you know, how often are those snapped? And right now you can see 4 cars in the block parked in the driveway. Average parking stall is 20 feet deep, I believe. You know, so is there a compromise as far as maybe not pushing it closer to the house, but it's a 28-foot deep garage? Can you guys shorten the garage at all to pick up more room along the alley?
The original drawings, he wanted a 36-foot deep garage, but, so we're,
Already counted that.
yeah, trying to make it something fit.
Mr. Fortney, what are the rules about pavement and cement and things like that when we're in an alleyway with a right-of-way like that?
Well, the ordinance calls for an improved driveway surface for garages. I don't know that there's an exemption for a gravel alleyway.
But the cement or the pavement, whatever, it goes right up to the edge of the alleyway right-of-way then,
Correct.
typically?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wallace?
What's his name?
My concern with the 13-foot setback is like what you're talking about. There wouldn't be parking still in front of the garage, it would be in the garage. Also, access to the garage from turning into the alley. I live in that area, and those alleys are very, very narrow. With that building being so close, there's not a lot of room to angle in. You know, particularly if you have a larger vehicle, pickup truck, anything like that. So I guess my question is, to create 7 more feet of yard from 13 to 20-foot yard, from a 13-foot yard to a 20-foot yard, is that worth moving the garage that far back, or that close to the alleyway? Just because there's no, I mean, the garage right across from you, the structure right across from the alley from you, may limit your access to it.
I do kind of need the space. I have a lot of projects on my plate already as it is. On top of having multiple dogs, so I kind of need the extra yard space to do all my stuff I need to be getting done.
Daniel, would you mind coming up to the microphone? Any questions?
Justin, the mic's not on front. Been hard to hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's on, it must test loud enough.
There's just kind of, I mean, with all the projects and such, I have a lot of projects on my plate right now, and I kind of need the yard space I'm gonna need to do it. And I also have multiple dogs that need the space. And when I get the garage in, I can't really have a 13-foot yard to fit all that in there.
Do you think you're gonna be able to, your access to the garage?
Oh,
is
access to
going
the
be-
garage. Yeah, I should have plenty of access to the garage. I generally drive small cars. I have a Buick right now, Buick LaCrosse, and so I don't really have any intention of driving trucks or any larger vehicles.
Okay.
Do we have any frame of reference for how far off the alleyway the yellow garage is next door?
I think it's 5.
This one?
Yeah, it's a side load. The side load, they can go as close as 5, is that correct, Justin?
Correct. That one's definitely more than 5.
That's more than 5.
Yeah, I guess it
Might
is.
be 7 at the most.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Johnson?
Frankly, and I suspect, like I said, you tried with a longer garage and had to kind of play with dimensions and salvaging the yard and setback from the alley and do this dance, this balancing act. I mean, if you're comfortable with what you've proposed here, I have 0 reservations about what you're trying to do here. And I was trying to think if it was my situation, 13 feet, I don't know. A full-size truck is probably 18 feet long, 22, yeah. And that's your business, I think, as a landowner, how you want to lay this out. I personally don't have a full-size truck, and I think, you could probably park a car there. Not a lot of room for elbow room, but if it were, but again, like I say, you're doing this balancing act between maximizing the yard and getting enough back there. As far as the variance, I'd be comfortable approving whatever you proposed here, to be honest with you. And I don't drive a big car either. My car would probably fit in there, but I don't know if it were mine. But like I say, you're boxed in the front end. You got dogs. No, I think it's a fine proposal. It's my 3 cents.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Slayton?
make a motion for approval of variance number 2017-46.
All right, we have a motion for approval.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Wallace got it first.
Good.
And I have one last question, I guess, before we call the vote. On your elevation drawings, how high is the
Peak?
peak?
About,
At the peak? Oh,
That'd be 14 feet to the peak.
all right. Any other final comments before we call the vote? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Variance is approved. Next steps?
Yeah, actually, Chair Deaver, that was a motion for approval of the variance.
Right.
So we still have a original Hastings design standard.
Oh, we gotta do this separate.
Well, we didn't have to, but the motion was for a variance,
Okay.
so we can do them separately.
Because that's how you have it listed on the front page.
Sure.
So-
Yeah.
So you need another motion for approval for the,
Well, so just to get some clarification here, so we approve the variance, which allows the setback of 13 feet instead of 20 feet, right? And what is it we're looking to approve with the original Hastings design standards again?
The design of the garage fitting in with the character of the area.
well, let's take another look here.
Well, I think having it closer to the alley like everything else in there is probably a good start.
good start.
Any questions or comments on the original Hastings design standard question?
As long as the, Mr. Chair, as long as the lap siding on the garage matches the house and any windows match the same design, and you've looked at that already, right, Justin?
Yeah, well, they'd be the same color. I think the house has a wider metal steel siding maybe. That's put on maybe in the 60s. The original siding of the house would have been narrower, and if they had replaced the siding down the road, they would probably use a narrower siding.
Okay. So you're planning to use the narrower siding on the garage
Correct.
with the thinking that it's gonna be changed on the house later? Okay. Good plan.
Any other questions or comments about that?
So we're looking for a motion to approve or accept the OHS review.
Yeah.
Yes. Motion to approve.
All right. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
And a second from Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
And this will be going to the city council meeting on November 20th for final review. Next Monday. Yep. You're welcome.
Good luck.
All right. Any other business?
Just like to update you on city council actions. Spiral Brewery parking lot special use permit was approved. Great River Landing Hudson replat was approved. And the city council signed a purchase and development agreement to sell a parcel at the northwest corner of Pleasant and Highway 55 for the purpose of a small medical clinic. And the applicants have submitted an application for rezoning of that property and a comprehensive plan amendment to facilitate that rezoning, which will be coming to the planning commission at our next meeting on the 27th.
So Pleasant and 55, that's across the street from the library?
Yeah, I'll quickly show you a aerial photograph of that location. So Pleasant Hills Library would be right here, Pleasant, and then across the street, so.
So between the 55 and the frontage road.
Yeah, right next to the bank.
Right where the bank was, yeah.
Well, kitty corner from the bank, yeah.
Corner from the bank.
Yeah, the bank's
That's
on there.
the-
It's not a very big lot there.
All right, that ought to be interesting.
Can't imagine any money in one either.
All right, any other business from any of the commissioners? No, nothing to share? All right. Motion to adjourn then?
So moved.
Moved. All in-
Second?
All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.